Hi, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning. Happy Easter Monday to you guys who are celebrating it still. My name is Nix Mirakuma, and I am the owner of Mirakuma Healing. I am also the creator and host of two TED Talks, Dark Minds and Butterflies, and Benton Rhythm, Rhythm and Rhyme. Welcome to part two, where we are going to be talking about grief. Now, before we get started, I would like to apologize in advance. Um, I'm trying to do these videos on I'm trying to do them on my laptop because my phone is having problems and it's really funky and it's just kind of lagging a lot. So where I'm doing these videos, it looks laggy to me. I don't know if it's gonna look laggy to you guys, or maybe it'll just kind of like correct itself when I post it. So if it's a little bit off, my bad. Um, I'm using a different kind of light, so I don't know if that's what it is, or it's just my computer being, my computer and just trying to do different stuff. So anyways, yeah. All right, without further ado, we are going to be getting into part two of grieving. Part one, we kind of talked about what it's like when you no longer talk to somebody. You guys are on no comment. I'm sorry, no, not no comment, but like, you guys aren't on good terms. You're not on speaking terms, and how that can affect you when that person passes away and you have unresolved issues, and how people can get caught in the crossfire. I'm sorry, caught in the crossfire, right? I'm gonna move a lot in these videos, man. I'm sorry. I'm also gonna be eating. So, anyways, let's get into part two. Part two, we're gonna talk a little bit more about that, but we're also gonna be talking about like different types of grieving, okay? Because grieving is more than just losing somebody. They passed on, they passed away, they're not in the physical realm anymore, they're in the spiritual and things of that nature. You can go through grief and still have somebody around. Like, for example, you could be with somebody that you don't talk to. You guys have gone your separate ways. You do your life, they do their life. You guys are no longer like, when they do pass, they won't leave you anything because you guys aren't on that term anymore. You know what I mean? You're not in each other's lives anymore. It is what it is. And they can still be alive right now, but because of the trauma, because of the pain, because of both people hurting one another and it never getting resolved or dealt with, you kind of, lost that relationship. That is grieving. You can feel bad about it and still go through the motions of it like it was something that happened that you can no longer come back, because it is. I know that I'm going to sound a little weird when I say that, but I'm going to try to make sense of it, okay? When you are no longer with somebody because of their actions or your actions or whatever happened, because sometimes it takes two people to hurt somebody. Sometimes it takes one, right? Yeah, I admit that maybe what I did was not the greatest. I should have done something, whatever, whatever. And it is what it is. But at the same time, sometimes people push you away. Okay. I know somebody that their anger had pushed people away. And even though that person really was loving and kind and they had their moments where they were super cool, the anger, the rage, the aggression, and they weren't even angry at people, they're just angry at themselves, but they took it out on everybody and they pushed everybody away because of that anger. Some people pushed other people away because of their actions. No matter how much times you give, no matter how much times you try, it's never enough. It's never enough. No matter how much times I bend, no matter how much times I accommodate and I try to do things that I think that will make this person happier, that person happier, bring in some type of peace, it's never enough. And after a while, you just get burned out, man. You get exhausted, you get tired, you get fed up. And then, one thing leads to another and it doesn't work anymore. And a lot of people, like, here's the thing that I find really funny because I've seen this, been there, done that, I've witnessed it, right? People are real fucking quick to tell you to forgive. People are real fucking quick to, oh, this person's so and so, this person's your family, this person's your friend, this person is your colleague, this person's your partner. You have to forgive. And I'm like, here's the thing. Okay, a few things. Firstly, you're not in this relationship with me. You're not seeing it through my eyes. You're not experiencing it through my lenses. So it's easy to say forgive when you're not a part of it. You know what I mean? Like when you're just an outsider looking in versus being an insider looking out. Those are two different viewpoints. Those are two different perceptions. Now, what does this have to do with grieving? Like I said before, you can lose somebody and you can lose yourself being with somebody. You can go over there and have a relationship you wish that would work out, that you wish would have been different, that you wish would have been this, that, and the third, and it didn't work that way. There are relationships with people I wish worked out, but because these people didn't want to change, or because they were very toxic or abusive, or just like not healthy for me to be around, like not healthy for my mind, not healthy for my heart, not healthy for my body, and definitely not healthy for my spirit. I had to be like, you know what? Fuck these people. And here's the thing about forgiveness, you can love somebody and not forgive them for certain things, but still have them in your life. I have people that I love and that I care about and that I will try my best to be there. To the best of my ability, I will always have their back. I will always care the best way that I can. What I can give, I'll try, you know. But there's some things that they've done that I don't forgive. I'm not going to give you grace for it because those things destroyed me. I broke down, right? You broke me. Let's say it like this. You broke me. You destroyed me. I was in pieces. And you didn't help me put those pieces together. You didn't go over there and hold my hand while I was going through this shit. A lot of times when you're struggling on your own. And this is a hard truth. At the end of the day, okay, and this is going to be harsh. At the end of the day, you have yourself. And I know that I've gone through stuff on my own, and I know that other people have gone through their stuff on their own. And as much as I love them and as much as they love me, we just weren't able to do those things, you know? I wasn't able to go over there and support you the way that you needed. And a lot of times you had to pick those pieces up, okay? I picked up myself. I put myself together. I built myself up. And there were certain pieces of me that didn't make it. Okay, RIP to the past version of myself. But you weren't there. You weren't there at the funeral. You weren't there when I had to kill pieces of myself and let go of versions of myself for this version before you guys, right? This me to survive. Certain morals had to be let go. Certain beliefs had to be challenged and had to be accepted that it's no longer available, it's no longer working, it's no longer there. Okay? If you're going to survive, you're going to have to let go of certain versions of yourself. Certain things that you believe in it has to be challenged. It has to be changed. And either you're going to keep it and fight for it, or you're going to let it go and let it not weigh you down anymore. People can really destroy other people and they expect you to forgive them. They expect you to give you grace. They expect you to be like, you know what? I was under a lot of stress. It's not like that. And I'm like, listen, at the end of the day, did you pick me up? Did you wipe away my tears? Were you there when I was silently fighting and doing these battles? Because last time that I checked, you are not. You weren't. Some things you can be forgiven for and some things you cannot. I know that I've done a lot of actions towards people that I love. Some things I will be forgiven for and some things I won't. Now, what does this have to do with grief? It has to do a lot with it. Because when you're grieving, you're losing something. You're letting go of something. You're moving on past something. You're allowing yourself to kind of shift into something new. And there's the kicker. right? The kicker is this: that version that you're becoming has to shed. And some people that caused you to shed, some people that have really broke you down, destroyed you, traumatized you, put you through the trials and tribulations are not the ones that are going to pick you up, build you up, be there with you. Some of them will be, some of them won't. A lot of times it's you versus you. It's you coming to terms with certain things that need to be changed. There's things that I used to believe in back in the day, like 3 years back, right? I used to believe the world was this, that, and the third. As the years came and the years went by, those beliefs that I had also changed. Okay? You don't have to hate somebody that you don't forgive. Now, some people you're not going to forgive and you are going to hate them. I have those people. I have some people that I really hate. And I'm not out here just being like, you know what? I'm going to hate them because I can, because hating people is so much fun. No, you fucked up. You did some unforgivable shit that I cannot be around anymore, that I cannot accept you being around me anymore, because if you are around me, I may go to jail for whipping that ass, man. I'm being honest, right? There's some people that I don't forgive, but I love and I have them in my life. We talked about it. I sat down with them and I said, you know what? I love you. And there's some things that you did that really messed with me. When you did this and this, after I warned you, after I told you, after I talked to you about it, and you did it anyways, your actions caused this, right? Your actions caused this. And I had to survive from that. At the end of the day, I will always love you and I'll always care. But there's some things that you will get forgiveness from and some things you will not. And that's okay, you know? And they'll come to me and be like, you know what, Nix or Mary, you did this. When you did that, it made me feel this way. And as much as I love you and you will always be like, in my inner circle, I don't forgive you with that. Don't get me wrong, I don't hate you, but I'm not going to forgive you for this things. And I don't think I ever will. But I know that this is your weakness and we can move on, but understand that when it comes to this, this is very much fresh. And I don't like that you did this to me, right? You can be with somebody and not forgive them completely for certain things that they've done. You can forgive somebody and not have them in your life. You can forgive somebody and have them in your life. A lot of things, like in this world that we're living in, right? When we were kids, when we were like little kids, they taught us that the world was black and white. What's going on, baby? There's some funky energy going on. This flame is like, it's this much of a wick and that much of a flame. So the presence is strong. Okay, is there. I have like a white candle. I like to have my candles lit a lot of the times if I have it my way. So I can burn my herbs and just kind of like have, it can burn out anything that's, in my opinion, anything that's just really weird. Anywho, like I was saying, right? When we were kids, we were taught that there's good and evil. There's good and there's evil. As we get older, we learn that not everything is black and white, right? Sometimes we do shitty things for a good reason. Sometimes somebody will steal food from a store to feed their family because they don't have money and they tried everything and that's the only way. They had to steal food to feed their family, right? Some people will pretend to be your friends. They'll go over there. What do you need? Whatever you need, I have your back. Oh my gosh, you're going through such a hard time. And they secretly love the drama. They're actually adding on to more drama. I recently stopped talking to somebody because of that. I was like, I didn't want to believe that they were doing this bullshit. Okay? I didn't want to believe. I was like, you know what? No, we're all in the same boat. We're all going through the same hardship. We should be there and lift each other up. Me, the people, okay? I'm going to put my side on this. How I feel so dumb because I was like, I knew that something was up, but I ignored it. I was like, you know what if, right? It's always the what if. Like, oh, what if they're actually this way? And I'm like, no, no, no. I don't want to think that way. We have to give people chances, right? We have to be able to look in the good in people. Some people full of shit. Some people full of shit, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. Some people full of shit. Some people be doing the goddamn most. And it's always the people that are like, oh yeah, I'm doing the good work. Us good people have to stick together, whatever you need, da da da. And turned out, I found out through like an unpleasant way that at the end of the day, this person was adding on more stress and trauma. And I was just like, you know what? I fucking batted for you. And a lot of people told me not to trust you. A lot of people said so and so's a hoe. So and so's this, that, and the third. And I was like, nah, man, not so and so. Look at them. They don't look like that. Looks are deceiving, guys. They may come with a cute face and the nicest of voices and the sweetest of voice, right? Sweet voice, kind manners. But you don't know somebody's surface. Like the surface, like for example, I don't look like a bad lady. But I can tell you guys that there's some people that I've wronged, and some people who have wronged me, and some people who are going to tell you, Nix is full of shit. Some people will say something else, right? You're different versions for different people who know you. And this is also going to come back onto forgiveness and things. You can have one person, right? Let's say that you have a dad or you have a mom, okay? Or a grandparent. So if you have a dad, this dad could be like a very abusive father. Okay. He was always angry. He was very controlling and dictating whatever he said all the time, every day. It's my way or the highway. And some people who know them, right, personally will be like, yeah, this person is very controlling. But as time goes by, because again, we shift, we change, right? We talked about it. You are not going to be the same person you were 5 years back. You're not going to be the same person you are now or 5 years later. You're constantly evolving and changing. Certain things that you believe in right now, you don't believe in anymore. Because again, what you believed when you were little, good versus evil. As you get older, it's not good versus evil. We all live in a shade of gray. I've done shitty things for good reason. Okay? I've done shitty things for good reasons that I thought was right. I've been the fake hoe, all right? I've gone over there and been like, oh yeah, whatever that you need. I played it. I'm not going to go over there and pretend to be Mother Teresa when I'm not. Am I a good person? I try. Am I capable of great evil? Obviously, we all are. But I try to be kind. I choose to try my best to be nice. Because at the end of the day, I believe that if we actually spread more kindness and empathy and what, we won't have to deal with people's bullshit. Like, if there's more nice people, more understanding people, more patient people, the world can be a little bit better. Because if we have all looked around, hearing the news, what, and everything, the world is gone to hell. It has, you know, it has. Everything's very chaotic. People are suffering. People who are supposed to do good are out here using their money to make other people suffer and think that they can be above it all, right? The law can't touch them. Karma is not going to get them because they're so supreme. And you're out here causing too much madness. At some point in time, all that high and mighty is going to knock you down, all right? You cannot be on your white horse all high and above everybody and holier than thou when you're out here doing a bunch of bullshit. I think that's gonna be my new gesture for this year. It's just, or when you're trying to be polite, but you kind of sound like an asshole. It is what it is. But yeah, you know what I mean? It's wild. We live in wild times. I knew that the world was going to be mad. I just assumed that I wasn't going to be here. I'm surprised that I made it this far. I know that sounds really depressing, but yeah. Anywho, like I was saying, the world is gray. There's some really good people. Like they're just really good. They're on that side. There's some evil people. We hear them on the news, on social media, on platforms, everywhere. They're there. They're not even ashamed. They're just here. Yeah, look at them. They're never gonna touch us. All right. Sweet cheeks, the revolution has already started. You think that you're really gonna go over there? Mind you, like I said before, there is more people than there are powerful people. Okay? They're grasshoppers, we're ants. We outnumber them 1,000, 1,000,000, 1,000,000,000 to 1. Go ahead and surf that surf, but see how far you're gonna be going, baby. I said what I said. Was it aggressive? Yes. But did I speak my piece? I spoke my piece. I'm not sorry about the piece that was spoken. You can't go over there and hurt a bunch of people and think that you're going to get away with it without some type of reparation, without some type of cause and effects. Okay? Everything we do has a cause and an effect. I know that we were talking about grief and what does this cause and effect have to do with grief and why I always keep bringing it up because this is what the video is about. The video is about grieving. You're going to grieve about versions that didn't make it. I grieved about versions of myself and I asked myself, man, would the past me like who I am right now? Would they be able to understand that I had to do things to survive? Okay? Now some of y'all gonna look at me and be like, bro, what are you going through? Why does it sound so ghetto? Like what who hurt you? What's going on? Because this sounds like some type of villain story, right? At the end of the day, I did what I had to do to survive. The world was cold. I had to be colder, right? I had to be this edgy, don't give a fuck kind of bitch. That's who I had to turn out to be. I killed versions of myself to survive. Yeah, I did. And I think that's where it kind of comes in with like, acceptance and being able to like here's the thing. I grieved about the past versions of myself. I cried. I was angry. I went through the steps and stages. I got angry. I got numb. I got sad. I got confused. I got even. Okay. I was like, you know what? If I'm going down, I'm taking all y'all bitches down with me. I'm taking everybody down. Right. And then I came to terms. I was like, you know what? It had to happen. In order for me to get to this next level, this had to go. This was the price, right? The cause and the effect. Because I wanted to go over there, I needed to let it go, which affected me in ways that I didn't think would, but I went through it. I gone through the emotions and the movements and the whats, and now I can be at peace. I learned to love all versions of myself. The good, the bad, the ugly. Ooh, definitely the ugly. The bad was one thing, but the ugly, that's kind of hard to swallow, you know? But as I learned to love myself and learn to honor past versions and present versions and building up to a future version of myself and understanding that things happen, life changes, and you're going to grieve about people who are no longer in your life. And you're going to grieve about certain situations that may be complicated. Like, for example, you may be talking to somebody that a lot of people aren't talking to, and you may feel like you are split, okay? That you are talking to this person that's messed with everybody, but you came to terms with it, okay? And You see them as who they were, what they are, and what they're going to be. And this person sees them as somebody who just keeps repeating, hold on, guys. Sorry, guys. I just kind of had to move around a little bit. But yeah. So like I was saying, you are going to be different versions for each person. Some people are going to see you this way, some people are going to see you that way. Some people are going to look at you and be like, how can you still talk to so and so? And I think what I'm kind of learning is that just because I made peace with certain people in my life doesn't mean that that peace is going to be said for every other person, right? Because some things, again, what I can let go and what I can be able to accept and what I can be able to tolerate in my life and in my circle is different for every person. Okay? Some things y'all can handle that I can't, and it's okay. I think coming to terms with what works for you and accepting that, like, just because it works for me doesn't mean that everyone is going to agree. Learn to come to terms with it, okay? I understand that certain people that I allow in my life are not going to be in everybody else's life that I'm in, okay? Like, I'm not going to call out anybody. I'm going to be nice. I'm going to use a friend. I'm going to use a friend. May they forgive me. Um, I know this lady, let's call her Jelly Bean, right? Jelly Bean had made peace with Butterscotch. Okay, again, different name, different person. Butterscotch was not always the nicest person. Butterscotch did a lot of harm. Butterscotch traumatized a lot of people. Butterscotch was selfish and manipulative, and you know, their actions and their decisions cause a lot of harm. They hurt Jellybean. They hurt Twizzler and Twix and Hershey and Oreo, right? Again, different people, different names. And Jellybean learned how to forgive Butterscotch on certain things. And they worked on having a relationship with boundaries and things of that nature. Butterscotch is cool with Jelly Bean. They worked out their issues, right? They understood that there's some, like, they can't be how they started the relationship. When Jelly Bean and Butterscotch started, you know, Butterscotch was life. Butterscotch was everything. Butterscotch was this rad role model that Jelly Bean really wanted to be. And they're like, oh my goodness, Butterscotch can do no wrong. But as Jelly Bean got older and started really seeing Butterscotch as an individual and person, Jelly Bean was like, you know what? Maybe Butterscotch is not above it all. Maybe Butterscotch isn't this divine, all beloving. Okay, I think it's benevolent, right? Like for loving is benevolent, and for like malicious is malevolent, right? I'm still learning my things. But anyways, like I was saying before, right? They started seeing Butterscotch as a flaw, as a flaw person, right? And they had their ups and downs, but at the end of the day, Jelly Bean and Butterscotch dealt with their issues. Butterscotch was like, you know, you did this, this, and this. And Jelly Bean was like, yo, bro, you have to understand. You not only hurt me, you hurt a lot of other people. And certain people are not going to want to have you around because of this. You were this, that, and the third. Now, some things I can forgive you about, some things I cannot, right? They worked with their own individual things. But Twizzler and Oreo and Hershey and the rest of them don't see Butterscotch as this person that changed. Because again, just like you have different versions in everybody else's story, Butterscotch has a different version in everybody's story. Jellybean is still friends with Hershey's and Twizzler and, Oreo. They're very close. But there's some things that Jellybean can't talk about because it's Butterscotch's stuff, right? And there's some things that Jellybean can't tell Butterscotch because, again, it's not Butterscotch's business to know everybody's things. Why? Because Butterscotch didn't work out issues with the other people and the other people didn't deal with Butterscotch. That's not saying that Butterscotch is evil or, the other people, how dare they not look the other way. It just means that when you're in a relationship with somebody and not everybody is rolling with them and not everybody's cool with them, you're going to feel split. You're going to feel like, my God, it would be a lot easier if everybody got along. But again, some pain can be healed and some pain cannot be. Some people hurt all around. Some people get angry and they take their anger out on the wrong people, or they take their anger out on the person that hurt them. And some things just cannot be forgiven. They cannot be, it cannot be buried. It cannot be squared away. So when you're dealing with something like that, you have to have a lot of open mindedness. You have to be open minded and see things with everybody's viewpoints. Understand certain people that you don't talk to, but the other people talk to, you're gonna have to make peace with it. And I've learned that recently. If I'm being honest, like, I always thought, like, if I don't like somebody, then you can't like them. And then I have to stop and think there's some people that I hang out with that not everybody is with. And they have to accept that. Just like I have to accept so and so being very close to this person despite the fact that I don't like them. It goes both ways. That's funny about relationships and funny about grief because you're not the only one going through the motions. Okay. When you lose somebody important, yeah, it's devastating to you, but you're not the only one. I'm not the only person going through the motion. There's versions of myself that people didn't know that passed away. There are people that I've lost that people don't understand how complex it is. There's people in my life that I've learned how to be okay with, not be okay with, not have in my life, and kind of keep at arm's distance or length because, again, that's just what it is. Relationships are tricky. Grieving is tricky. It's never A, B, C to one, two, three. It's A, G, K, number one, two, double square, what? It's confusing. It's messy. It's raw. And it's unpredictable. And sometimes it lasts for months and sometimes it lasts for years. But at one point or another, it's something that we all go through. You know what I mean? We're not promised tomorrow. So if you're going to have something and it's going to affect you for a lifetime, and I'm going to say this a lot, especially in these videos, because again, work through your problems. Learn to accept. Just because you learn to accept something doesn't mean that you made, like, you're happy with it. You learned how to be like, okay, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Certain people are not going to be in my life. Certain people I have blocked, I have deleted their contacts because I know that at the end of the day, when I really think about it with myself, because I'm the kind of person that will have a conversation with like the universe and myself, and I'll be like, you know what? Let me really just like sit down, right? Let me put myself in this situation in my mind. And that's how a lot of things I deal with. I put it in my mind and I'm like, okay, A, B, C, and one, two, three. Can I do it? If this person was in front of me, could I be able to hold their hands and say, you know what? All is forgiven. Don't worry about it. Because if I can't do that, I can't be around. I don't want to be fake. I don't want to go around pretending to like somebody. And at the end of the day, I can't stand them. Life is too short to be surrounded by fake ass bitches. I'm being honest, it's too short. Why am I out here wasting my time with people who don't even care about me? Why am I wasting my time with people who are just stressing me out, using and abusing me, lying, manipulating, pretending to do something when we all know they're not even doing it, okay? They're just out here doing the goddamn most. And then they're quick to be like, oh my God, she doesn't talk to me anymore. I don't know what happened. I don't know. Maybe because you did something. Maybe because I don't like dealing with people who pretend to be the victim and they're really the villain. I can go over there and accept that if you're going around, you know what I mean? And you're like, you know what? No, what I did was wrong. I can be able to go with that. But sometimes again, people wait too long to make things right. And you're not always going to be like, man, life is confusing is all I can say. Life is confusing. Anywho, coming to terms and accepting things as they are is not easy, but it has to be done. You have to find at some point in time where you can go over there and be like, you know what? It is what it is. It is what it is, and it's not what it's not. As much as I want something to be this way, as much as I would love this person to be this way, I have to see them as they are, you know? And you have to be able to let go. Grief is also letting go and moving on and accepting. Because when you hold on to something, right? As y'all can see, this is a charger. If I'm holding against my hands, right? And I'm like, man, this hurts so bad, but I can't let go and I push harder and harder and harder. It causes more pain because I'm having these things poke my hand and I'm putting pressure on it. I want it to be a certain way, but it's not. When you accept it, you learn to let go. You learn to see it as it is and ask yourself, is this something that you can, as it is, as this person is, as this situation is, as this thing is, can you, yourself, not your mom, not your dad, not your bestie, not the heavens above or hell below, can you as an individual, you, accept it as it is? And if you can accept it as it is, what are you going to do? Is this something that you can have in your life, or is it something that you have to let go and move forward? Because you can't always hold on to things. You know what I mean? You can't go over there and have people the way that you want them to be. And if you pretend, or if you pray, or if you hope, it will be exactly the way that you want it. Sometimes you have to see things as it is. It's not a duck. Okay, if it looks like a dog, it walks like a dog, it sounds like a dog, it's not a duck. It's a dog. Seeing things as they are, accepting them as they are, and understanding what you want, and is it going to be something that you can handle, will help you a lot dealing with grief. It'll help you a lot understand and go through the motions and really cry and really be angry and really go through the motions of a relationship that didn't work, or a person that you wanted to be but didn't happen, situations that you were hoping that would come through that did not come through, as well as going and changing and adapting and evolving into something new. We change every day, and change can be very scary, but it's a part of life. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Anyways, hopefully this made a lot more sense and I didn't get too out of topic. Next up, we are going to get into sorrow. All right? And how to kind of, oh, damn well, you're not about to come into this motherfucking room. Ah, move on. Move on. You're not welcome. Nobody got no time for this. Jesus. Again, bugs and sounds and God knows what. It's just, I'm learning to just say, you know what? If it's not meant for me, please get out, leave. I'm tired, exhausted, I'm fed up. And I'm trying not to let like insecurities and fear try to control me because I know what you see on the video is somebody very confident, very like in control, but life is unpredictable and sometimes it takes us out. So I'm learning how to just surf the turf and roll with it, you know? Anyways, like I was going to say, please stay tuned for more. We're going to talk about sorrow and how to kind of, move past it and work with it and how to kind of be able to, express it in a healthy way. All right? Okay. Thank you guys so much. Slay today, be happy and be gay, stay safe. And again, happy Easter Monday. Bye.